and
Oh
stuff
boy,
to
that's
introduce
scary.
them. Yep. So just like a few questions, that would be all. And then if you're okay, if I can take a few pictures of your art,
Absolutely.
that would be
Yes.
perfect. So my first question for you is,
Can we start with introductions so
I'm
people?
so sorry. So I'm Bahram.
Nice to meet you.
I go to Nova.
Say
It's
Bahram?
Bahram. Yeah, it's a
Bahram.
Persian name,
Lovely.
and it's my third semester at Nova.
Okay.
Doing cybersecurity. This my first
Wow.
art class. So
So they made you take an art class. I love it. It's like when I went to school, they made me take math classes and science, and I was like, no, I just want to do art.
I did take art in middle school. I did like it and stuff. We
Good.
did like all creative stuff. I do still remember like where you put the, like you put the curve and you did like make like shapes out of it. I forgot what it was.
Okay.
And I did take photography too in school.
Yes.
I like photography better than.
I love doing, but I do analog photography, which is film photography.
Oh.
I have a 4x5. If I'd known you were coming, I'd have brought my camera in. It's a 4x5 field camera. I don't know if you know what those are. They have basically a box with a bellows. So just like those old-fashioned cameras, it's got a bellows and a lens on one end and a ground glass. So you actually focus and set your aperture and your shutter speed on the lens, and you focus through the ground glass, which gives you an upside down and reversed image. So although that could be kind of a drag for people, it's actually, for an artist, it's a good thing, because your composition, you're not so caught up in what the subject is. You're like, I can see the patterns of light and dark, and it makes a good composition.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's on 4x5 film. So I just love taking pictures with the camera. There's some
sorry.
outside in the hall.
You're talking about this there. I'm from Afghanistan. There's this one guy that I've been recently watching. It's an older gentleman, and he has this oldest camera.
Uh-huh.
So whenever he takes picture, maybe I'll show you a video later. So it's like it gotta be dark and stuff.
Yes, I
and
have to
he
put
put water.
I
Yeah,
have to put, and then I have to.
I
Yes.
think I know exactly
Where's
what you're
mine?
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got.
And people travel to him like from all over place, like to just take picture, which is like crazy.
Oh yeah, there is nothing like black and white photo
Yeah.
from one of these cameras. I mean, I know that digital cameras have incredible resolution. The range, not just the resolution, it's the range of values. Values meaning light to dark. So especially in black and white, you're seeing a much bigger range than any camera is capable of, except for these. Hold on a second, and I will show you a picture of my camera. I'm getting my new website going, so I know I just took a
Perfect.
picture of it. There it is. That's my camera.
Oh wow, perfect. You know, this one's much nicer than the one I've seen. Let me show you the one on the.
Okay.
I hope I can find the video. Have you seen the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, this is the bellows. You use these knobs to make the bellows go back and forth to focus on the ground glass in the back.
Okay, so this is what his camera. This is what I've found. This is the video I watched.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, it's really popular in my country. Like this guy is like getting famous. People are going from America to every places to this guy.
Oh yeah, they gotta throw in a.
It's like so the steps that you gotta watch.
Oh, he has a vintage.
I'm saying it's a really
box
vintage,
camera.
right?
Does that have a bellows in it? Oh, fascinating. See, he has to hide under
Yeah, he has to like be really dark.
in order,
yeah.
because that would be on the ground glass in the back that he has to focus, and it will
So
be
the-
upside down for him too. No, he
The
doesn't
stuff
have a
that-
bellows, so
Yeah.
it's more like, so he has very limited,
It's, thanks for it.
yeah. Yeah.
Just quickly finish explaining how it works. So I really have no idea. There's a paper box here. There's a paper box here.
And this stuff in it is like super.
Photos. And there's this one is the iPhone. This is the fixer.
Oh Oh, so that's his dark room too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my
That's what
camera
I
is
was
not my
saying.
dark room. I
I was saying, like, this
I don't
is so
do all the
crazy.
stuff in there as well. That is
This was
really
like when I was watching this
amazing.
video, I was like, this is so cool. Like you can just like have a thing from like
Yes.
back in the days and still do so much with it.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
famous. Dude, this guy is just famous. Like every person that is a tourist that goes to my country,
Uh-huh.
they gotta take a picture with this camera.
What is your country exactly?
Afghanistan.
Oh, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
there's
was gonna
like,
guess Iran or Afghanistan.
Yeah. The language are the same, so yeah.
Okay.
And can I get your name, man? I'm sorry.
Yes, Suzanne Clark. Suzanne
Perfect.
Clifford Clark.
And my first question would be, for you, be, ma'am, when did you first became interested in art, or what was the way that got your eyes?
Basically, when I was a really little girl, a really long time ago, we were going to, my family was going to move to India. My father had a job there, although we were here in America. And we ended up moving to Jamaica instead. But we couldn't take a lot of things with us. So in order to amuse myself, I drew. I drew and I made books for my little sister. And I just got in the habit of drawing, and it was something that was very portable because I lived in South America when I was young, and then in Australia when I was a teenager. Now, by the time I was a teenager, there were other things I could do, but basically that's how I got into it. And there's just never been anything but art for me.
Yes. Do you remember your first art that you created, or the
Was
first?
little books for my baby sister, little
wow.
illustrated books about princesses.
Oh.
Yep, that was the first art.
And the second would be, ma'am, where did you receive your artistic training?
Number of places. When I was in high school age, I lived in Australia, and they had a really rigorous art program where you did practical art and then art history. So I was able to learn a lot. They don't really offer that too much in the States. And then when I took classes with a school called the Julian Ashton School of Art, which, believe it or not, is still there in Sydney. And they had this old-fashioned approach, since in the 1970s, where you would draw from a model, from a plaster cast for like 6-8 months. That's all you would do. You would show up all day, you put up a plumb line. A plumb line is to tell what's on one side and the other. And you would draw in charcoal or pencil all day long. And then you could move into painting, and by that you would do a grisaille, which is a black and white painting, before you even get into color. So it was kind of like an apprenticeship in Europe of the 19th century, which was very cool. It taught me a lot about drawing realistically, especially here in the United States when I came back for college, for university. It was the influence of the abstract expressionists. I don't know if you know who they are. Willem de Kooning and other, Jackson Pollock. So it was like you throw your expression out on the canvas. It was not so much, it was kind of looked down upon to try and make things look real. Now things have changed as I've gotten older, and now that's not true anymore. And a lot of what we call ateliers or rigorous programs to learn realistic art have come up from the 1970s up until today. No, not 1970s. I'm thinking 1990s until today. Yeah.
Yeah, I have realized that since I've talked to like multiple people that in schools here they don't really pay attention to like art that much since like young age. Because I talked to the other day, I was talking to this guy from Palestine and a bunch of other people. Like even in my country, like having an art class, it started as in like first grade,
Yeah.
and it's like till the end.
Uh-huh.
But here, like it's like an elective choice and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's an emphasis on these ateliers on technique and learning about your materials, which is very much absent and certainly when I was in college and for years afterwards. It was more about your free expression, and you would feel confined if someone told you how to do it. Well,
Yeah,
if you want to paint realistically, you kind of need to be told how it's done, right?
And my third question would be, ma'am, were you influenced by any other artist or your teachers?
Oh,
or-
tons of artists. Yes, like there isn't any one particular artist. I flip from artist to artist.
would you
Oh, I
name
want to do
some,
something like that. Oh, I want to do something like that. I'm just always. I have a huge library at home of books on art and artists, and I just get a lot of.
What are some books that you would recommend for students or people that are like trying to learn about art and stuff?
Probably like anatomy books to learn to draw the figure, which is something I really enjoy doing. And then books about painting and techniques, and there's a lot of them out there. I can't think of one, right now that covers everything, but there's a lot of them out there.
And now, what material do you prefer to work with, or what's your
My primary material is oil paints, and I've been using those for well over 40 years.
oh, that's
And it's always a journey, learning new techniques and new ways of using the oil paint. I've gotten, in the modern era, we don't use as many solvents as we used to with painting. It's turned out that it's probably not a good idea, and it's not safe to be breathing that in. So my painting is pretty much solvent free. So yeah, it's just a continuing education.
yeah, we learn in class about all different types of painting. Oil was the hardest one. And we learned in class that they were back, like in the beginning, they were doing like silver painting with like, I learned something like the first time they were like using charcoals to paint and draw stuff. Then the teacher was talking about like silver, or they were like,
Oh, silver point. Yes.
Yeah.
I have silver point drawings.
Yeah.
I have them here
So
somewhere.
that was really interesting. I was
Yes.
like, she was talking about like how it takes so much time, like from
Yes, and you
what
can't
art
make a
has come
mistake.
from and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
So it's
Here is.
like if you make a mistake, it's over for you.
That's right. You do. Let's see. This is my silver point kit. So this is brass that you can rub the paper with, and this is the silver wire that you draw with.
Can
And
I
then
get
I
a
have-
picture of it?
Of course. Yes. Yes.
This is really cool. In class, I learned about like there is no way people are like, because it needs so much focus and
these-
stuff.
Yeah, it has to be pretty good. That's a thick piece of silver wire, and that's a thinner piece of silver wire.
That's super nice.
So yeah, this has got silver wire in it. Now my main sketchbook with that is at home, but I have a couple. That's got silver point drawings on it.
So around you.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's around here somewhere.
And I got like 2-3 more questions, and we should be done.
Okay.
And how would you categorize your style?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a realist painter. Try to make things look like things, and but I do realism in all sorts of different ways. So that's how I would leave it. Just a realist painter.
And what type of subjects do you like to do?
Just everything.
Everything.
I do figures. I do landscapes. I do those columns back there. I just whatever interests me. That's what I can.
And just a few simple questions. Do you listen to music when you do your
Yes. Get the earphones on. Yes.
art? Perfect. How long does it take you to finish your art once you start it, or does it depend on what you drew, or what is it?
It just depends on the painting. Some of them rarely just go, but I paint usually in a multi-layer process, and the layer below has to dry before I can put the new layer on. So it can take a month or two. It can take days, depending on how I'm working.
And do you sell your work online or in person, or do you do any of that?
Through my career, I have sold my work through gallery representation.
Gallery representation. That's where it happens.
Yeah.
Perfect. And quick question: how do you feel when someone buys your art? When you have spent like so much time on it, and like when someone buys, how does it feel?
It's great. It's wonderful. No better feeling.
And my last question would be, ma'am, what are some advices that you can give somebody about art, or if they're looking to start a career with art or any?
I guess the first would be to study your materials so that they are archival. It's less important with a lot of artists, and it's very important to me. Those paintings will last 700 years. So, because I use the correct techniques for application of paint and that sort of thing. Most painters are interested, a lot of painters are interested more in their expression, and maybe they add too much oil. If you add too much oil, you get it browns and cracks. Go to any museum, you'll see it. So as oil paint ages, it does become more brittle and can crack. It's just part of it. But then you see paintings at the National Gallery that are 700 and 800 years old, and there isn't a crack on them. So it can be done right. So learn your materials is my number one advice.
Cool. Thank you so much, my dad.
You're very welcome.
And if we can just take a few pictures,
Yeah.
that would be perfect.
Of course.
That caught my eye. Like
Oh.
the moment I walked up in the thing, it was like,
Yes, that's St. Ursula. I got into painting polychrome statues.
sweet enough.
And there's one behind there.
Oh, behind them?